Right, hey guys, how are we doing? Back another video from Chuck. I did a Godzilla one not too long ago from Chuck, and a few of you left comments saying that you'd like me to check out the Godzilla power scaling stuff. So potentially, if you do actually want to see me check out that kind of stuff, because I do think it'd be quite educational, cool. But I'm mainly anime kind of thing, so I thought this would be a cool little way of also checking out like Godzilla scaling. I don't know who King Ghidorah is, but for Chuck to put like the whole Z Fighter team against King Ghidorah makes me think that this King Ghidorah is a big deal. So let's get educated, let's learn, let's find out if the Z Fighters could stop King Ghidorah. Is that how you pronounce it? King Ghidorah.
Godzilla is by far one of the most iconic characters out there, particularly amongst monster film enjoyers. Throughout the decades, he has fought a wide menagerie of impressive and brutal opponents. From the metallic fiend,
That looks so cool.
Godzilla, the Scarlet Demon that personifies Godzilla's doomsday, Destroyer, literal gods like Marvel's Thor,
Oh, Jesus Christ, okay.
the Man of Tomorrow, DC Superman, and of course, his arch-nemesis, King Ghidorah.
Yo.
A three-headed terror that was hell-bent on the destruction of the Earth and beyond. Dragon Ball Z Saiyan Saga gave the heroes a similar predicament to overcome. The impending doom of the planet itself in the form of Vegeta and Nappa, who could obliterate entire planets with ease. But what if the dreadful Space Wyvern existed in the world of Dragon Ball and stumbled upon the Earth shortly after? Would the Z-Fighters be able to stop its rampage, or have their planet become eradicated like many others before it?
Wow, okay.
In these scenarios, we will use the Showa-era version of King Ghidorah and will analyze the Z-Fighters through numerous sagas to determine how they would fare against the mighty Space Titan.
Oh, so it comes from space. Right, okay. I was under the impression all the Godzilla monsters came from, like, underground. Wow, shows how much I know.
Without further ado, let's get right into it. To get things right into gear, we will assume that one scenario will be in a universe where Goku managed to arrive earlier in the battle against the Saiyans, with them managing to defeat Nappa easily, and then Vegeta with a lot of difficulty. With Piccolo surviving, they managed to revive whoever died in the encounter and seemed to avoid the need to go to Namek entirely.
Oh, okay, yeah, cool scenario, alright.
In effect, they would also evade the brutal Space Emperor, Frieza. But if things were to get really dicey for the heroes, we can just bring in later iterations of the Z-Fighters to see how they would fare. Shortly after Goku and the others recover all of their injuries, they sense a large energy signature that rivals that of the Saiyans coming towards the Earth, crashing in the process within a meteor. The Z-Fighters decide to track down and meet up at the crash site, and soon afterwards, they are met with the Golden Dragon himself, enveloped in a bright ki from all of the cosmic rays it has absorbed in its lifetime, and it hungers for destruction.
Whoa.
The Z-Fighters brace themselves, some looking confident and others looking unsure, but they cannot be too sure of themselves just after attempting death against the Saiyans. So how strong is Showa Ghidorah?
Yeah, how strong is he?
Well, within his first appearance, 1964's Ghidorah, the three-headed monster, he is stated as having life-wiped Venus in a day, and this is confirmed by a guidebook.
Wow.
He proves to be such a huge threat to the Earth itself, to the point that Godzilla, Rodan, and Mothra had to ally up to get him to retreat from the Earth after an intense battle.
Oh.
Eventually, Ghidorah returns in Invasion of the Astro Monster and the Zone Fighter TV series, which is canon to the Showa era. In the series, he proves to be able to withstand life-wiping, planetary, and perhaps even stellar ranges of power in his body,
Whoa, okay.
because, in tandem with a cosmic dark prism, he manages to absorb the sunshine so much that he actively made it dim. He actually absorbs his energy for at least a few minutes, which is pretty crazy, because if the sun releases multi-continental wiping levels of power every second, it's fair to say that Ghidorah is absorbing multitudes of times that energy level amount, and is arguably absorbing enough energy to wipe out planets and stars of variable sizes in the process.
Damn.
This planetary range is consistent because there are guidebooks that state that King Ghidorah is unrivaled in space, which would likely include the projectiles the Zone Fighter series Garoga aliens can launch, which can destroy planets.
Oh my god, Jesus freaking H. This King Ghidorah's, pretty freaking powerful.
To further back up that he can potentially absorb planetary and stellar ranges of power, he is stated as being able to absorb cosmic energy numerous times, which if it's referring to cosmic rays, it has quite an effect on Ghidorah's power interpretation. Because cosmic rays usually come from things like the sun, supernovas, and even black holes. And to put it into perspective, even the smallest supernovas can release more energy than our sun will in its entire lifetime. By the time of 1968's Destroy All Monsters, which is the last Showa film chronologically speaking, Ghidorah is such a huge threat that even late-game era Godzilla and the other kaijus had to team up to overwhelm him, with Godzilla long before reaching his peak already being comparable to Zone Fighter, who could take hits from and eventually defeat even 4th-dimensional kaiju. Showa Godzilla has also done other impressive stuff, such as being able to punch through a construct that even his atomic breath couldn't pierce through, and he's also been able to damage and rip apart Mechagodzilla's head, who could withstand his own energy attack reflected at him by a factor of 10 times. The same Mechagodzilla who had already surpassed early King Ghidorah even prior to his upgrade, meaning that even life-wiping to planetary levels of power already become light work by the time we get to the later parts of the Showa era. As for combat speed and reaction times, he is at least Mach 3, but he's actually relativistic to being several times faster than light, due to him scaling to Godzilla and other kaijus who have reacted to light-based attacks.
Oh, right, okay, Jesus Christ, right.
Which are referred to as being lights, rays, and beams numerous times in the guidebooks as well. For instance, we have seen King Caesar react to and reflect Mechagodzilla's energy attack. We've also witnessed Godzilla reacting to Mechagodzilla's space beams, and we have also seen Godzilla react to point-blank gravity beams from King Ghidorah. And to further curb any doubt that they can operate at these superluminal speeds, King Ghidorah has even been able to react to and fire gravity beams at Zone Fighter, traversing across planets in mere moments. And although not applicable to his combat speeds, he has been able to fly across star systems in less than 15 minutes, going by cinematic timing.
Okay.
As for the Z-Fighters, how strong are they during this time? Well, according to Daizenshu 7, the Earth's protectors have power levels ranging from 610 for fodder like Chaozu, 1770
They can all blow up planets, like, surely.
For Krillin, 2800 for Gohan, and upwards of 3500 for Piccolo. This means that even the weakest in their ranks is able to wipe out moons multiple times over, with the stronger ones like Yamcha, Tien, and Krillin being able to destroy small planets. You could even argue that they reach outright planetary ranges of power, due to even inferior characters like King Piccolo stating that he could wipe out the Earth, and with Piccolo Jr. stating that pre-training Uzaru Gohan would be able to destroy everything in his rampage. Goku is also confirmed in the manga and in the Daizenshu as having an energy rating of 8,000 in base form, let alone with his Kaioken boosts. With his largest multiplication being Kaioken times 4 at the time, he can easily wipe out multiple planets and even large planets. You could also scale all of these fellas well above Garlic Jr., who could create the Dead Zone, which is described in the Daizenshu as being a hyperspace, with a hyperspace either referring to a space with more than 3 dimensions, or a faster-than-light travel method, like we have seen in Star Wars. So, just like with the 4th dimensional stuff for Ghidorah, we can argue that Dragon Ball Z has such a thing in their arsenal as well, despite how inconsistent it might seem compared to the later feats and the levels of power showcased in the series. I also believe it's really just a black hole-esque construct and not necessarily a higher dimension, but I did want to include this for those that like that scaling. Obviously, if the Z-Fighters have recovered and likely trained in some way during their peacetime, they are at least above those power levels, and it's quite clear that Son Goku and Son Gohan would receive a Zenkai boost, and perhaps even a large one, depending on how hard they went during the Saiyan invasion. In terms of speed, Dragon Ball characters are casually several times faster than Light, with Son Goku in base alone already being over 8 times stronger and faster than his max power level when he fought Raditz. The same Raditz who toyed with a post-Dragon Ball Goku, who was already faster than he was when he faced the Red Ribbon Army, who could fire lasers at him, or like when he grabbed Master Roshi's glasses before Tien Solar Flare could hit his eyes. Even Chaozu of all people surpasses that level of power and speed, showcased by OG Dragon Ball Goku, as with the others. So, now that we have gone over each faction, who would win this battle for the fate of the Earth? Well, I think that it depends on how highly you interpret Ghidorah's power and how well charged he is. If he is at his absolutely lowest, that being that he could life wipe a planet, he would get heavily damaged if not killed by attacks from even Chaozu, let alone a Kaioken Kamehameha from Goku or a special beam cannon from Piccolo. Now, if we said he was at his planetary to multiplanetary ranges of power, then he would certainly be able to kill pretty much everyone casually, except for Kaioken Goku,
Right.
and maybe Gohan if he rages out and surpasses, if not rivals, Goku's own power boosts. However, Ghidorah would certainly still run into a speed problem. Yeah, he is several times faster than Light at combat speed and reaction times, but the speed gap between original Dragon Ball and the Saiyan Saga is quite substantial, to the point that the Z fighters should still have speed on their side. I believe that if Goku coordinates well with the others, given that they can survive long enough, he can launch a sneaky spirit bomb at Ghidorah, which due to his evil aura, should be quite effective. Son Goku could also just go ape with a Kaioken Kamehameha, which would be very hard if not outright impossible for Ghidorah to dodge, and in effect, cause heavy damage to him. Now, if we're using the stellar and multi-solar system ranges for Ghidorah, going by him arguably being able to absorb cosmic rays as massive as the amounts given off by supernovas and black holes, then he would casually one-shot the Z-Fighters, no difficulty.
Everyone, wow.
Even if the Z-Fighters were faster, it's not going to matter much when Ghidorah rains down his gravity beams, which would raise and explode the Earth violently.
God.
At this point, we would have to bring in Cell Saga characters to contend with such an immense level of power. Even in the manga, Vegeta, Trunks, and Piccolo are in the star levels of power, due to them downscaling from Cell, who is confirmed by numerous sources as being able to destroy the solar system. Not to mention the speed gap between Saiyan Saga characters and Cell Saga characters makes the former gap look laughable in comparison. So even if Ghidorah had comparable or superior levels of attack potency and durability, if the Z-Fighters work well together, they can spam it with enough energy blast that they can wear it down and eventually land a critical hit on it. Although, it's not fair to say that the Z-Fighters would come out unscathed, as they would suffer heavy casualties, especially if we are using the multi-solar system scaling for King Ghidorah.
That's cool.
However, I think that Son Gohan would ultimately be able to finish the job even if his father, mentor, and his comrades fall in the battle, and that's due to him scaling to anime perfect Cell, who, as I covered extensively in my Saitama vs. Cell video
Good video as well. Check it out.
is able to threaten to destroy the universe, which is stated by the anime episode guides, the manga, and both the Z and Kai anime episodes. Even if he cannot destroy it in one shot, if he could wipe out chunks of it, it would still put him in the galactic to multi-galactic levels at least. Arguably even higher if you think that the Dragon Ball universe is truly infinite, and in effect would have infinite galaxies. Case in point, I think that even this hyper-powered up version of Ghidorah would get one-shotted and blitzed by Gohan if he is superior to Cell. Now, if we were to use the 4th dimensional scaling for King Ghidorah going off the Zone Fighter stuff, which I find to be highly inconsistent, then Ghidorah would certainly have greater levels of attack power than Gohan, but he would still have great difficulty.
Ghidorah could blitz him if you believe that him being 4D would automatically give him higher speeds.
Hitting him with his gravity beams. But it's fair to say that it wouldn't really matter because Ghidorah would just direct his hatred in not being able to hit Gohan towards the Earth and win in the end. With Gohan likely not being able to breathe in space, going by some statements in the Super manga. Although, this is somewhat contradicted by the Z anime and the Super anime as well. At this point, in order to match Ghidorah's 4th dimensional power, we would essentially have to bring in anime Goku to finish the job with the mighty golden evolution known as Super Saiyan 3.
Boom.
Although, you can argue that even inferior characters like Son Gohan, Gotenks, and Vegeta could body Ghidorah as well, depending on how you think they scale to Kakarot. If Goku scales somewhat to Kid Buu, who is stated by numerous sources as being the strongest Buu, arguably above even Super Buuhan,
Buuhan's the strongest.
Who was threatening to collapse dimensions in order to destroy the infinite living universe with his raw power alone, then he would be able to overwhelm Ghidorah for sure. And you guys know I'm Team Buuhan all the way, but if we're going up against a wank Ghidorah, we have to use a wank Goku as well. And don't even get me started on the disgustingly even higher speed gap that occurs during this time where even base Goku, prior to the Buu saga, was able to cross distances encompassing entire infinite universes within mere moments, let alone the speeds he would have as a Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan 2, or Super Saiyan 3. Either way, if Goku can slam, it's quite clear that Super Vegeta would slam even harder if you think the need for fusion would arise. Now, if it's the Z fighters within current Dragon Ball Super, so many of them one-shot it's not even funny. Even an inexperienced Super Saiyan
Oh yeah, the power level increase in Super is ridiculous, isn't it?
God Goku while fighting Beerus was able to threaten to wipe out the entire Universe 7 macrocosm, which is composed of several infinite time-space continuums, putting it well above Ghidorah's 4D power-up. That's not even mentioning all of the boosts that Goku and Vegeta get during Super, even prior to the Tournament of Power, or their evolved forms and godly techniques. Base Goku, Base Gohan, Base Vegeta, Base Piccolo, and whoever skills to them would be able to slap around the Golden Dragon and kill him before he can even react.
Damn.
Android 18, Android 17, and Krillin, yep, even Krillin, would slam this 4D Ghidorah, since he has fought furries from Universe 4 who could give his
I was going to say, anyone that's in the team in the tournament, yeah.
wife a hard time, the same one who could withstand his from Raza, and due to him being able to finesse Gohan and seemingly push Goku into using Super Saiyan, who at this point had already encountered the might of Goku Black and his rematch with the timeskip assassin, Hit. In the end, the Z Fighters will be triumphant overall more times than not. But it's fair to say that the earlier Saga versions of the characters would certainly struggle, if not outright lose, if they must face off against the higher end metas for the Wyvern's power. But yeah, that's generally what I think would happen to the Space Tyrant and the Earth, depending on how highly you scale him and the heroes. Do you agree? Which side were you betting for and against in this versus battle? Please let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and peace out.
There is some interesting scaling going on with the Godzilla verse then. I just assumed that all the kaiju were found underground on Earth. I didn't realize they had stuff coming from space and that, like that King Ghidorah dude. Interesting stuff. I might have to check it out. But cool. So the further down the series you get, the easier it gets for the Z Fighters to win. But it seems like the strongest characters still win. So like Goku's winning consistently, and then more people. Cool. Thank you to my patrons. If you want to have your name at the end of every video, I want to be able to watch Patreon-only reactions, such as the original Dragon Ball series. Link is in the description to the Patreon page. $1 a month is all I ask to help support the channel. It's great appreciate. Thanks for that, and thank you all for watching. What do you guys think of that? What do you guys think of this? Click like, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave comments down below. Let me know what I should watch in future videos. I'll see you guys next time.